Hello again and welcome to this week's episode of the G-Spot. I'm Gila Zak, certified hypnotherapist, and today we're going to talk about how fear hypnotizes you without you even knowing it. I want you to listen to me carefully. Lean in. Come here. Fear is a hypnotist, and it's lurking out there waiting for you, waiting to capture your attention, activate your imagination in the worst possible way, and then change your chemistry, get you to feel something, do something, get scared, get angry, turn into a raging asshole. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I say it again and again, but we can't say it enough. Trance is anything that captures your attention and focus, activates your imagination for better or worse, and you start to feel and or do something, even if it's just space out and think of nothing at all. This is the example of the worst. So fear is a necessary and useful tool. It's evolutionary. It's designed to protect us. But let's face it, people, we're not being chased by saber-toothed tigers anymore. Now we're being chased by social media, by politics, by class and communities and differences that make us feel as if it's so unfamiliar to us that it has to be a threat. So fear is there to protect us, but it's a tool, not the master. You are the master, and in this episode, we're going to talk about how the delusion of fear is hypnotizing you into being someone who you may not even want to be in the first place. Now, one of the things that happens when we go into hypnosis is that time can get distorted. Logic can get distorted. This is why when you see someone in a stage hypnosis and they're doing kind of freaky shit and you're thinking, I would never do that. But those people who want to play along, they're up there doing crazy, weird stuff, right? Because trance distorts logic. But this happens when we go into a fear trance as well. You read something on the internet, you see something on the news, your neighbor or your friend or your family tells you a story, and you just go into the instant induction. Fear is a shock induction. It's like right there. You ever seen those handshake inductions online where, someone's on the street or they say, hey, shake your hand, and then boom, next thing you know, that person's fallen over? Well, guess what? You too have been a hypnotee. You too have experienced a shock induction, and that is fear. Fear separates us from logic by plunging us into a hypersuggestible state where we become separate and distant from logic, reason, intellect, and superior judgment, and then it activates our internal pharmacy to release all that stress and fear chemistry that makes us shake, makes our heart pound, makes it difficult for us to focus or get clear. So listen to me, people. We have to stop going into the fear trance. We have to stop listening to those things that are designed purposefully to put you into a hypersuggestible state and activate you. And we're going to talk about how to dehypnotize yourself coming up shortly. Now, when we go into a fear trance, we lose access to internal and external resources, solutions, and tools that could help us really navigate the experience more calmly, more effectively. And fear loops are a real thing. If you're somebody who's experienced anxiety or fear in really heightened states, you know it's a loop that you can get stuck in. And then what the brain does, what the psyche does, is it goes and looks for proof. It goes and looks for information that confirms what you're feeling. Because if that threat is fucking real, what you're trying to do is find a way to get out, but you're stuck in the loop. And so you go search, you go down the rabbit hole, you go here, you go there. It really doesn't matter what your politics is. You're getting stuck in the fear loop to go into that place, and what you're trying to do is find a way out, but what it's really doing is taking you deeper into a state of absorption, deeper into the fear trance. And again, this is when you no longer have the real resources you need to filter out the information. You become hypersuggestible to whatever you're reading, whatever you're seeing, whatever you're feeling. Now, I love those people who say that I can't be hypnotized. Gila, you can't hypnotize me. I'm like, really? You've never been so afraid? You've never found yourself in a state of terror? And they'll say, look at me, well, what do you mean? Well, fear has a way of completely captivating us that is so unique that it makes us more suggestible to authority figures, to narrative, to going into the worst case what ifs and outcomes. And what it does is it essentially traps us. It traps us in a state of spinning. So if someone says I can't be hypnotized and they've never experienced fear, they're full of shit. Fear is the number one way that I see people go into trance every day. Below that fear is anxiety, over here is perseveration or rumination, but fear is really the umbrella category that's causing all that other stuff to cascade. Consider this. We know that fear has three main responses: fight, flight, or freeze. So I want you to take a moment. Really, let's get serious, okay? I know I can be silly and flippant, but I want to get serious. I want you to think about something that really you are so terrified of. You are so afraid of. And notice what you notice about what your body's doing. Are you going into a freeze state? Are you starting to shake or tremble? Do you want to get up out of your chair and fucking run? Do you want to hit somebody? Do you want to punch somebody? Do you want to go down to the train and rip them off the tracks? I mean, think about it. That's what fear can do. It's really powerful. Now take that thing that you're so afraid of, put it in a little balloon, just exhale it, put it into a hypnotic balloon. Let all that pressure, all that fear, all that tension and stress go into a hypnotic balloon with every exhale. That hypnotic balloon is so magical it can't pop. And I don't need to tell you what happens to a balloon when it fills with pressure. And when you're ready, just fucking let it go. Just let the balloon go. And it's going to do one of two things. It's going to float off into the distance and get smaller and smaller as you relax and recover and you complete that stress cycle. Or it's going to go and land on the floor and it's empty. Either one, or maybe something completely unique for you. So when we go into deep fear trances, we become more suggestible to other people's ideas. We are more susceptible to influence that's outside of our own core sense of who we really truly want to be. And what we're going to talk about next is how to break that cycle. So, what is the antidote to all this? Awareness. Now that you know, now that you are educated, and I truly hope that you go out and you tell every single person you can to either watch this video or let them know that fear is a shock induction. It's an instant trance inducer. And awareness is the antidote. It's a way to pop the balloon. It's a way to let it go and let it flitter off. It's a way to step back into your own sense of self-empowerment. Because you've heard me say this before, if you've seen my other videos, you and you alone are the spiritual authority of your mind. And in every experience, there is a moment of choice. And you should be able to choose how you want to think about that headline, that clickbait, that news piece, what your neighbor says, what's happening in the family dynamic, whatever it is, you should be able to choose that from a more discerning and more rational place. When you recognize fear for what it is, this is when the dehypnosis process begins. So many times people will come to me and tell me that they have a fear of something. And I say, well, you're really good at going into that fear trance, aren't you? Essentially, all I'm going to do is dehypnotize you. I'm going to dehypnotize you from that and rehypnotize you to this over here. But it's always going to be from that place of awareness. The moment you recognize that that thing has control over you, it's changing your physiology, your chemistry, the way you feel in your body and mind. That moment you catch it, that's when you can release it, pass it, replace it with something else, and get on with the business of being who you truly want to be. This is self-empowerment. This is how we take our power back from all of the influences across the spectrum of society that are trying to hijack your attention, your focus, your imagination, and your choices. So hot tip, the moment you feel yourself activating, and this is a skill, let's be honest, you got to practice it, but now that you know you can, the moment you feel that activation where you want to go right into an opinion or a judgment or anger or rage, that fear, because that's what's underneath it, the moment you notice that, that's when you have to pause. That's when you take that moment, that beat, that step, the awareness that what it's happening will allow you to create the choice that you're looking for. Now, how does clinical hypnotherapy help you with this? It helps you to become less suggestible in the first place to those things that have been hijacking your attention, your energy, your body, and your chemistry. We can learn it how you learn to be so fearful. And you know, they do brain scans on people all the time, right? We know that certain segments of the population respond more to fear than others. And it's usually because of learned environments. It's usually because of cultural conditioning or sometimes even genetics. But hypnosis can go in and it can help us to dial that down so that we don't have to go from 0 to 10 or 0 to 100 on that fear scale. We can look at how we learn to be that way and start to shift the pattern internally to create more active control externally. So, I hope you found this video inspiring. I hope you share it with everyone because now more than ever we could use a little dose of dehypnotizing ourselves, couldn't we? And please like and subscribe. Put your comments and questions below. I'm always looking to hear from you. And until next time, thanks for spending your time with me here at the G-Spot.